Hey guys, Chat Trades here. In this video, I want to go over how much I made with day trading this week. I'm going to go over my exact P&L, show you guys what the P&L is, and also show you guys the exact trades I took, what setups I followed, what mistakes I made, and all that good stuff. So hopefully you guys can learn a thing or two from this video for your own trading. So that being said, it's currently Thursday right now. I already finished my trading for today, but we currently have one more day in the week. So I'll also be updating you on how tomorrow goes in this video as well. So that being said, let's go and hop into my computer and show you guys all the trades I've taken so far this week. All right, so let's dive straight into this thing. So I'm going to pull up my TradeAway account. You can see this is a real live account. Let me just move myself. We're going to go to my P&L for the week. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up right here. We can see, again, this is a live account, not a demo. I can refresh the screen if you want, just so you can see it's a real live account. So today I'm up around $1,000. I don't think I'm going to take another trade today. Maybe that'll change. There's still a few more hours of the market open. But anyways, if I go to this week, okay, so I'm just going to go to this week. Currently it's Thursday, so we still have one more day out of the week. As we can see, I'm up around $4,600, $4,700 so far this week after commissions. So that's my total net P&L. So we had $10,000 in profitable trades and $5,600 in losing trades. So this is the P&L so far this week. Now, this week hasn't been the best for me. I usually try to aim to make $10,000 per week, but it seems like all my runners that I leave on are getting stopped out. So instead of making, $2,000 to $3,000, I'm only making, $1,000 to $1,500 per day. So this is basically my data. You can see what setups I've taken, this week. So this week started on March 4th. As you can see, we made $909, $1,348, $1,300, and $1,000 today. And like I said, we still have tomorrow. Now let's go ahead and go into the trades I've taken so far. And then, like I said, I'm going to be updating you in this video on what my P&L is tomorrow, so you can see the full process. So if you want to see that, be sure to stick around to the end of this video. Now, if I go inside my free Discord community, as we can see, I have a trade recap section where I recap the trades I take every single day. So if you guys want to see my trade recaps and also see my levels for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ market, I post these for free every single day inside my Discord community. If you guys want access to it and you guys want to join it, all you have to do is go to the first link in the description below. We'd love to have you inside. Anyways, that being said, let's go over to March 4th, which is Monday of this week, okay? And we can see the trade that I took. So anyways, what I said here is end up going short on QQQ this morning after failing at VWAP again. So you can see, so market was kind of choppy, but we did have an overall downtrend. So we had the support down here, and then we kept coming up to this VWAP area, and we broke down. We came up to this VWAP area, and this is where I got my level from, okay? So the setup was a trend pullback, so the thought process was we were trending down. I was waiting for a pullback so I can get short to take the market to new lows. All right, so the level was an old resistance from earlier this morning. Okay, so we clearly had this resistance right here. This is where I took the trade up in this area. My entry confirmations was a big 5-minute Heikin-Ashi candle at 12:35 Eastern. Volume was average, so I didn't have much confidence to hold this trade. So as you can see, this white candle right here was my confirmation candle to enter the trade short. Now, when I entered this trade, I had my stop right above this candle. So I was risking a few points on here, and my target was a low of day, right? To break the low of day. Unfortunately, since this candle didn't have high volume, I usually like to have my confirmation candles to have the volume elevated, but it didn't get that. So I was kind of trimming early. And then once we started, trading up again, this is where I actually got out of the trade completely. Now, in hindsight, obviously, this looks like a dumb place to get out because we did end up hitting my target. I would have made like 2,500 instead of 900 on this day. But again, you can't be a perfect trader, but that is the main mistake I made. But I was following my setup, so I'll give myself props there. Okay, so anyways, that was Monday. Now let's go over to Tuesday, okay? So this is March 5th, and as we can see, this is where the market was a little tricky on this day. The market's been pretty tricky all week. Anyways, I took 3 trades on NQ. Earlier in the day, we're in this demand zone area, so I was trying to go long. And, I went long here and got stopped out after, we didn't have any volume on that next candle. So if I don't see this trade playing out like right away, the way that I trade using volume and price action, then I'll usually cut it early, right? Like I did here. So on this first trade, I took a $600 loss because it did get stopped out. But I did cut it early. So instead of losing like $1,200, I only lost $600. So that was okay. Then the second trade I cut early because volume died again for a $400 gain. Now keep in mind, the second trade I went long here. I saw another big 5-minute candle, right? We had this nice little double bottom in demand zone. Now, for some reason, I went over to the 1-minute chart and I was scoping in and I was seeing weakness, right? I wasn't seeing volume increase. And I kid you not, I cut the trade right before it skyrocketed up like 40 points. This would have made me over 3,000 if I held to this resistance area. Unfortunately, I cut out the trade very early. So I only made a $400 gain. So basically I said, of course, after that, the price rallied over 40 points from my entry. So I missed that one. So at this point, I was down 200 on the day from these two trades. Okay. Now, I saw another opportunity on trade number 3 that finally played out nicely. So the setup here was a trend pullback. So again, the trend was down. And then once we got to this area, this resistance again, we started failing, right? The market started moving sideways. And then I saw a big 5-minute Heikin-Ashi candle. Okay, so this candle right here. And we also saw elevated volume. Okay, so this is what I like to see. I was able to put my stop loss right above that candle. And again, I had a low of day target. Okay, so I ended up holding this trade all the way to low of day target. And I actually ended up making a decent amount of money on this trade. So anyways, that was my day on Tuesday. Those are my trades. And then if we go over to Wednesday, this is yesterday. This was actually a decent trade. The risk reward wasn't really good. So I did size down a little bit on this day, mainly because I took a breakout trade. If you guys watch my channel, you know I don't usually trade breakouts. But this looks so good. The volume was so high that I had to try it. This is on ES, the S&P 500. As you can see, I said end up going long on ES this morning using the Heikin-Ashi breakout strategy. Set up breakout trade level resistance from opening highs. Okay, so we had this resistance from opening highs. We came down to VWAP. And then what you'll notice here was I couldn't really find an entry once we started pulling back up. But then what you'll notice here is we had this huge volume bar. Okay, this huge volume bar right on where we kind of broke over this resistance area. Okay, so this candle right here, we broke over this resistance area. That created huge volume. So usually when we break a level, whether it's a support or resistance, and we have huge volume, that tells me that level is usually going to hold. So what I can do is I can enter once this candle closes, right? I saw a big 5-minute Heikin-Ashi candle and I put my stop loss right below it. Okay. And since we had so much volume, so much participation, chances are that level was going to hold. I ended up holding this to our supply zone, which was at 51.30, and I completely got out there. Again, the risk reward wasn't the best since we didn't have that much room to run up because we did have a supply zone here. And I actually got a good selling point because the market ended up selling off more. So I did size down a little bit on this trade. I ended up making around $1,300 yesterday. So again, decent trade. I'll take it. Wasn't a big win, but I'm trying to keep it consistent, right? That's the name of the game with trading. It's not about having some huge day. It's about keeping it consistent, right? So that was yesterday. And then we have today. And today I had a little bit of bad luck once again, okay? So if I zoom in here, as we can see, what basically happened here was on this big push, basically we broke a supply zone. Okay, so we broke all-time highs on the S&P 500. Now, once we broke it, I was waiting for a pullback because again, old resistance. So this area was resistance. Old resistance tends to become new support. Okay, and we can see this resistance. If I move myself real quick, go to a bigger chart. All right, we can see this resistance was from a few days ago. Okay, so we broke this resistance and I was waiting for a pullback. Okay. So anyways, if we go back into the 5-minute time frame, as you can see, what I was waiting for was a pullback, okay? So the way I actually traded this was a little bit different than the normal setup I take. I actually use reversal candles on here. So instead of using Heikin-Ashi candles, I did take my entry based on regular candles. So let me just go to a regular candlestick chart. And like I said, I took a reversal candle play. So once we pulled back here, basically what happened was we acted like we were breaking this level and going down. But then what happened was buyers started to step in. We got some increased volume here. And then we had this nice looking hammer candle, reversal candle, whatever you want to call it, on the 5-minute time frame. So basically I was able to get in around right here, around 153, 152. And I put my stop loss right below this wick. Okay, so basically this is another trend pullback. Okay, so the trend was up. I was waiting for a pullback to a level. and then I got in long, okay, with a goal of making new highs. Now, as we can see, we eventually got that. This is where I trimmed most of my position here at this 160 area. So I was able to squeeze around 7 points out of this trade or so. And what did I do once again? I left a runner to see if we can get to 165, okay, which was around right up here in this area, 165. And once again, my runner got stopped out. What did I do? I put my stop loss at break even, right? And what happened on this pullback right here, right? I got stopped out by a few points, by 1 point on ES. So again, I don't know if I'm having bad luck this week or I should just leave my stop loss where it originally was. But yeah, this is kind of what's been happening. Of course, we got stopped out and we end up hitting my 165 target. Now the price is at 170. So for this trade, this is why I only made $1,000 today, because I did get stopped out on the runners. This probably would have been around a $2,000 day. But again, right, I'm not here to trade perfectly. I'm just here to consistently win. This is what's going to make me money in the long term. This is what's going to make me a profitable trader. So again, like I said, it's currently Thursday, March 7th. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on with the rest of my day. I'm going to go do some other work. I have some meetings with the loan officers because I'm in the process of buying a new house. And I'll keep you guys updated with what happens on my trading day tomorrow. We'll see if we can finally get a good trade going, or if we get another consistent $1,000 day, or who knows, maybe we'll take a loss tomorrow. So I'll go and update you guys on tomorrow, and I'll see you soon.
The next day.
All right, so we're back. The next day is Friday, the last day of the trading week. So anyways, I want to go over the trades I took today. I actually took 2 trades. One was a scalp. One was a decent trade, but I did get stopped out on my runners once again. That's been a very common pattern this week. But, you know, what can you do, right? So as long as I keep it consistent, that's all that matters. So let me go ahead and go over my trades. So originally this morning, I'm on a 5-minute time frame. This was the top of our resistance, right? This was our supply zone. As you can see, when market opened up, I typically don't like to trade the first 30 minutes of the market open anyways. So as you can see, we soared past this level, okay? So this brought the NASDAQ over to all-time highs once again. So what I was looking for was to keep riding this trend. So what we can see what happened, the way I kind of rode this trend was we didn't really get any pullbacks. Typically, I would like us to go up and then pull back to our old resistance, then I can get in. Again, we didn't really do that. So if I go to the 1-minute time frame, now this trade wasn't a very high probability trade based on the confirmations it had and the setups I usually take, but it had a very low risk, so I was willing to try it. So anyways, basically what I took was if I throw an EMA on, so let me just throw an EMA. Basically, we were holding this EMA the whole time this morning. So I figured I'd wait till I pull back to the EMA, and that's basically where I got in to take the market long. So as we can see, we're holding this 21 length EMA on the 1-minute chart, basically this whole time above this level. And then what you'll notice here is we finally pulled back, right? And we got a nice reversal candle on the 1-minute time frame with a little bit of elevated volume, nothing crazy. But again, this is very low risk, so I was able to get in at around 403 or so. So right here, and I could put my stop right below the lows. So my stop was at 396. So basically I was risking less than 10 points. And as you can see, basically I trimmed at all-time highs, right? So once we hit new highs at around 19, I trimmed. And then I trimmed one more time right at 28. Now I kind of got lucky on this because we literally went to 29. Then we started pulling back. Once I saw this weakness, I trimmed again at 28. Then I left a runner at break even. As you can see, during this time period, this is where I got stopped out and break even. Then we end up going to 36, right? So I probably average around 15 points total on that trade. Again, nothing too big. I thought we were going to run up more. I thought we had another 50 to 100 points to run up, but market started dying down, started getting weaker. If we go back to the 5-minute time frame, right? This is where the trend started to flip. So we had super aggressive selling, and as you can see, we bounced straight off our demand zone, okay? So this is actually where I took another little scalp. So if I go into the 1-minute chart, basically the setup here was just a reversal candle in our demand zone with high volume, okay? So this basically told me that a lot of buyers just stepped in. So we can see right here, I didn't take this first one. This would have been a good trade. I actually took the third one right here, okay? So this third bounce, I figured this is our last chance to either, bounce off this zone or we're going to keep selling. So as you can see, we had elevated volume on this reversal candle once again. We had it here, elevated volume here, elevated volume. So I thought there's a good chance that big buyers were defending this level pretty well. So anyways, I took the market long here at 175. I put my stop below around 153 area. As you can see, we end up going to this previous resistance. This doesn't look like much because the market was moving so much, but this is actually another 10 to 15 point scalp I was able to take. Once it kind of showed weakness as resistance again, volume died down. This is where I'm like, okay, I'm going to cut this again. I'm done for the day. I got a decent amount of points. I did size down a little bit on this trade. So instead of trading like 5 contracts, I only traded 2. So I didn't make as much on that trade because I was going against the trend and I was already up on the day from that first trade I took. So I like to size down typically when I do that. So anyways, to show you the P&L for the week, for the day, as you can see, we're on my live Tradeovate account right here. So the total P&L for the day is $1,500, $1,483, not bad. And then finally, if I go to this week, right, you can see this is the March 3rd week, and we click go here. As we can see, we ended the week up $6,400. Pretty happy with my execution. My win rate was pretty high. I just couldn't get any big winners to come in. But it's like the old saying, I'm taking consistent base hits instead of going for home runs. And these consistent base hits will eventually compound and add up over time. So as long as I'm green and staying consistent, that's all that matters. Maybe next week, the following week, the rest of this month, right? I'm going to get some big winning trades if I stay consistent following my strategy. I know I'll get some big trades over this month as long as I stay consistent. So anyways, guys, hopefully this video was helpful. Let me know if you like these kind of videos where I recap my whole entire week. Also, like I said before, if you guys want to join our free trading Discord community, like I said, not only do I post in here, you can chat with other members, but I also post my levels every single day on NASDAQ and the S&P 500, and I also post my trade recaps every single day in here as well. So anyways, guys, if you'd like to join us and be part of our community, we'd love to have you inside. All you have to do to join is click on the first link in the description below, or just head over to this link right here. That being said, guys, as always, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video with another day trading lesson.